see what you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, pero
Shed. Whoops, and I saw you had Recreation Parks Committee.
on the agenda. Yeah, to display the agenda. Oh. Okay, so we don't need this folder in, right? We're going before we.
But you're still in the waiting room.
Yeah, I haven't a lot of people accepted myself. So.
In person.
Just log in.
Well, you know what? Let's see.
Hey, come on in.
Hi.
To see ya.
Nice to see you. Come on in.
You gotta turn the sound off on.
Yes.
Hey.
Wow, it's so beautiful outside, I should have walked.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a little too chilly, like 2 degrees chilly for me.
So, drive this one or drive that?
I can drive that one. Or yeah, it's better if I just do that.
one?
Because I did this last time and I feel like
Shared.
yes.
Good stuff.
Yes.
For you? Sounds like a long weekend side.
Basically. But I'm trying to remember what I even did this.
Oh, right?
Not sure today why anymore. Caesar, your map is behind this.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask about the email.
Folder somewhere inside this cap.
Okay, I will definitely not take it today.
So you're gonna be a co-host on both computers.
Yes, I can.
But you have I need to share on the one I just, because I've just opened it up on my flash drive.
That's fine.
So the sharing will have to be. Of the agenda.
It's fine. What time is it? 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
On my desk.
This. Because if you're muted, we're all.
Right. Yeah, so I muted it to chat. But
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's just have to know that we are being recorded.
Yeah.
And then on
Are you a planner?
No, I'm a high school math teacher.
Oh, okay, because you also didn't you? Have put in a publication on the, or a presentation for the traffic seat?
Mm-hmm.
That was yours,
Can
right?
you believe I had to do that?
That's, I thought, I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been left behind because it looks like AI really chats something or other helps with a lot of stuff.
It does help.
Teresa. Basically gave some, you know, that 715 page,
Yeah.
oh, the
DNA.
PNA, the person,
Right.
yes. She was able to do
Yeah.
something to give it keywords so it could scan the whole 700 some pages.
Yeah.
And tell her what she wanted to know. Now, I'm not a believer in that.
Yeah.
And by this, I mean, it's not just, I'm not a believer. I am a believer in technology and AI. However, I will say many years ago, because, you know, it's a version of indexing. You know, there's professional indexers and then they do the backs of books. And I learned many years ago that you should thumb the book.
Right.
Because if you're looking for information, and I have found information I needed. It's the indexer or the indexing software may not have recognized.
Yeah. There's stuff we think that
Right,
is
so
just
when
over,
you
but
say uses whatever,
Yeah.
or any of us would, to go through a 700-page document using keywords, that doesn't mean you're not missing something. So it's not because I'm a lover. But
yeah, however, that plan that I presented, that was a lot of manual work.
I'm sure it was.
It still is not like, it's not like,
It's that you've gotten used to that formatting, because I'm beginning to
Yeah.
recognize the formatting
yeah,
just from going on Google.
yeah,
And now the first thing that comes up, and it's useful, but I see the formatting.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
change it up sometimes.
So you did all the research for that and put it all together, or?
No, it was with the help of UNNC and
Well, and what's his name?
Teresa and Streets for All,
Oh, Allison Streets from.
Streets for All blogs that I talked to, like a lot of people. Kristen, yeah, there was people involved.
The page at the end of all the research,
No.
I mean, the references and stuff.
No, because we were having meetings.
Those meetings.
So I'm just trying to catch up with everything, so I'm going back to all the documents.
Yeah.
Trying to understand.
Yeah, well, we're not really doing footnotes.
Yeah, it's all very informal, I feel.
You know, like, where's the data source, you know?
Oh, no, when I catch data, it is in the slides.
Oh, it's in the slides.
I did put like data
Source.
sources that where it comes from, not just like random.
It's hard to keep track, but we're beginning, especially on this whole greening thing, because there's tree equity studies,
Yeah.
there's, you know, the traffic safety, I mean, but you know, all of that stuff, there are so many different studies.
Exactly.
And I think we tend to remember the statistics, but not the source.
And it's hard to catch up to everything you guys are doing,
Right.
because all of your work is on these files, these shared files. And they're like catalogs, so there's no way to go back and like go, oh, there was a meeting last month, let me see what they did, go back and look.
Well, there is a way to go back, because,
The link is done.
no, for the meetings, but we have the Google Drive. Yeah,
I
no,
tried looking back.
yeah, well, sometimes we improperly share data that never got into the online thing, but it goes back to 2014. I mean, not public, but I started in
Well, that's what I mean,
2020.
it has to be public. You know,
Now,
public
starting
access.
2020.
Yeah.
So our officers drive goes back to 2014.
Right. But for.
That was not, but starting in 2020, when we came back to life and started having Zoom meetings, I just took up the protocol that city planning was doing, and nobody else, of course, creating an agenda packet for every single meeting.
Yeah.
So to the extent that we upload material to the agenda packet, that those are all available.
Cause I tried going back to that last month.
Yeah, how long were you trying to go back? I guess
Just a month.
just a month back? What were you looking for? Like,
Were there.
were you looking for
Well,
a specific?
Links that were his own, maybe.
But they were,
That's
they were pointing to drives, shared drives, and then I was like, and then I had to go to my Google Drive to say what has already been shared with me. Once I had accessed it, it's on my
Yeah.
shared drive,
yeah, no,
but
I don't
the
know.
agendas are not there.
Oh, the agendas are in the website.
yeah, all of our agendas are in the.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you go into the calendar.
Yeah.
And just select a date.
Oh, okay, I'll try it again, but it was.
yeah,
It's a little complicated.
it's very, it's not like us.
But
Straightforward thing.
check anything out.
Yeah.
MailChimp agenda in MailChimp, for example, and you don't delete your email. Which many people do. I, however, have 4.
All right, I think, okay, we're gonna just get started so we can, if you have,
Okay.
like, we'll get going. There's sadly nobody else, not even my wife. I told her to come and join. She's like, busy. All right, let's call this meeting to order. Let's go over the agenda. And then we'll introduce ourselves. So here we're gonna have our welcoming and then general public comments. We have updates and announcements. Yeah, a couple of things from CD10, a couple meeting, or just one meeting that we had this past month. And some thoughts that I got from that, I tried to update, give you an update on Sixth Avenue Elementary. An update, this update will be a little more extensive because I want to go over like the website that they're using and the tool that they want to use to propose parks. This item 4 is slipped in, I don't know how, but that was last month's item. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Sorry,
Uh,
it was there.
Yeah, I know, I think I said, I don't know, I think
I didn't add it.
I know, I think I might have just like sighed and like, oh, that makes sense. And then just added the next one. So we'll skip number 4 since it was last month's item. And then number 5, we'll discuss the tree planting event that happened here at Parker Heights.
Western.
Western Heights. And then coffee with the cop. Then we'll do community impact statements that were approved last month. The P&A. And then some thoughts about the Expo Crenshaw first mile, last miles, and coordinations, and then updates and old business that we might want to bring up. All right, so again, I'm Cesar Garcia from the Park and Recs, Rec and Parks, which is it? Park and Recs, chair, and I live in Jefferson Park.
And I'm Laura Myers. I live in Angeles Vista. I'm on the UNNC board. I serve currently.
And I'm Sunmin Lee, I'm a stakeholder resident in Jefferson Park Region 5.
All right, any general public comments?
Only that, nothing to do with recreation and parks, but got my new unfortunate project of tracking houses on fire. And two, not one, two more historic West Adams area houses have burned down. Last we saw each week ago.
A week ago?
A week ago, 1980. Well, I don't know the condition of 1980 LaSalle in the Harvard Heights HPOC. And then there's a at 1232 Bonnie Bray. So that'd be Pico Union HPOC. I have seen. They're like, that was this morning.
Oh.
So it's a horrible pattern in this broad West Adams area. Oh, and maybe even as we speak, 1504 Wilton's on fire. There's some posted.
Is it like you think it's vandalism or is it
Homeless, probably.
homeless?
But it's a proposed 7-story, 100% affordable housing.
Yeah.
Project location. First, they applied for the demolition permit February 12th, and in 3 days, it's fire. Yeah, that's close enough to my house that I drive by it fairly often. Owner has not. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
My only public comment is if we could skip over the events that we've already all attended, that maybe we could tackle the new items on the agenda.
Sure, I have one. So I want to take a moment to address the tragedy that happened this weekend. It's a cyclist. His name is Melvin. He was a husband. He got killed on 36 and 5th Avenue. And it's just very close to my home. Just over a block from Jefferson, where we've been trying to do some work to make Jefferson safer. And as a father and of 2 young kids, it just strikes me really hard. And it's just devastating. And I just don't know. Yeah. So, we're in talks with City 10 how to make the neighborhood safer. I just want to, maybe take a moment of silence for the victim. Start now. Thank you. Yeah, so,
I do have one other note to that
okay,
general. Public comment. I finally completed. Executive didn't bother to approve it since anyway, our comment letter. On open space. So I'm gonna upload it, have Dan upload it to the website. I'll see.
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
Because,
more,
and in answer to one of your questions that you asked earlier, how that one came together. So it was like a 7 or 8 page comment letter on the draft proposed open space element, which
for the
includes
planning and zoning.
planning and zoning, part of the general plan. So it came out of more out of our planning and zoning committee. I had mentioned others because it's also tied to being answered. Vice versa. But how that one came together in the end was through us, through these meetings, we also have a transcript. So as people were tossing out ideas, that's what went mostly. So, which is what I told them.
Yeah, thank you.
So-
I would love to
So
talk.
along with a letter you had written,
Yeah.
another letter I had.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that letter. I'll bring it back to that letter later though. All right, let's move up to
Right, but I'm
updates.
saying, so we have, you're right, I mean, we end up building. On
Yeah,
other
there's a lot of
stuff,
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of like, things that you can build from and think that's.
Yeah, that's what it's going back to see what I can find.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can definitely send you a.
right, but you can also, on our on the UNNC website, there is a section for UNNC. members. So you can also see,
Yes,
last
I
couple
probably do that and there's.
now you
not a
have to
lot.
give it, well, there's.
There- No, but I'm just like, yeah, no, no. Grandma. Okay,
Let's finish up with your.
all right, let's move on. Let me stop sharing here. We're gonna talk about. Over here, we're talking about the first mile, last mile. This is more about traffic safety than first mile, last mile, but what the meeting got me to realize. Was that a lot of the aspects of the plan that was approved in 2021 could help safety measures of what we've been talking about for Jefferson, 36th Street, and even Expo. So I was thinking, and right now CD10 pretty much said like, you know what, Jefferson Boulevard is not really a priority. They send us a list of what is a priority, which is understandable. Like, they can't do everything, especially since there's not a traffic safety.
But the greening,
But
I don't think they're denying the green.
Yeah, they're not, and I feel like. I don't know how to mention this, because we've talked about like, there are potential funding sources for. Making that a priority, so I guess where I'm getting stuck is like, how do we make, or how do we pursue CD10 to like. Make a motion for Jefferson Boulevard to adopt first mile, last mile plan, so we can. Maybe, tackle it from, different sides.
The thing is, there's like, what, 14 or 15 different aspects. of
Yeah,
it.
there's some thought, yes.
Right.
So that's
Yeah,
what I'm
so-
doing the most.
So. So some of it's not within UNNC. So there's no point in us advocating for that.
I'll get to you on that one right now, because I've been talking to West Adams. Yeah,
Advocacy to some extent, and it's not all them either, there's also pieces of it that would be in target.
so yeah, I guess that's where. I guess that'll come later too, when the first mile, last mile, Adam is like, should we advocate for?
That what we're advocating for first.
Yeah.
Is the paseo.
for sure.
And
Should we just focus on that and like not focus on other aspect? That's what I'm like. Yeah.
That's what, one of the things we're taking on Saturday to council.
Yeah.
So we're not adding to that.
Adding to the doc.
Or 5 things
Right.
to talk about, and we
Okay.
talked about that at executive.
Okay,
So one of the things that we're taking is safety on Jefferson to Adams. And one of the things we're taking is what are you guys calling this now?
Paseo.
Paseo X.
Okay, and then maybe the pocket park that was proposed like
We
almost 3 years
cannot
ago.
put that. I'm just saying, it
That's
doesn't mean we can't devolve into other conversations.
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's not on-
uh,
But also, if you looked at the budget, mayor's budget.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. It's so bare bones that when I'm reading about it, that she's didn't even budget, this has to be an error, did not even budget. Cat and dog food for the 5, 6 shelters.
that's,
Like,
I heard
no
about that.
budget for food for the animals, which has to be rectified, but that's how tight they are.
Right.
So what they're saying about the traffic safety
Yeah,
is that the budget citywide for that kind of, that small part of larger department
mhm.
is $20 million.
That's
That's
not-
like
that's not-
nothing.
It's not, I
That's
know,
just nothing. So outside money sources, in fact, has to be
Right.
identified.
Right.
But for this committee, I think we're supposed to be focusing more on
on
the
the greening aspect.
parks.
Yeah, yes, and I guess that leads me to, okay, let's just talk about the next update. I've a neighbor, a couple neighbors that go to Sixth Avenue with their kids, we've been trying to advocate for greening that area. We try to engage with the LAUSD, they haven't engaged back. And then in that whole conversations, our neighbor Mason has been, you know, trying to find paths, and he's been thinking of doing it maybe by sections and maybe creating a 501(c) to maybe collect funds and actually make this happen without, you know, try to cut some of the red tape somehow and just kind of like get something done. But we don't know, it's very slow moving for sure.
501(c)(3) that's on Friends of 6,000.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. That's what we're exploring now, because it's very convoluted things. It's like apparently there's one guy that hasn't sent the plans to the principal or to anybody, and then we're just kind of waiting for this guy. We try to engage with a board member for that school. Nothing. We try to call it, like go pick up, like I want to go to one of her events and be like, do you know like reply to emails?
Is in her office somewhere in this.
I guess so. I guess I could also just knock on her office. Is that a thing? Like, I don't even know. Can you just show up to somebody's office?
It's a public
Public
space.
space, right?
I just don't know where it is.
Yeah, I was
forget
looking for
what
that.
name is.
Yeah, no. I forget. I
Just
forget.
that,
District 1.
yeah.
The next thing, okay, this is gonna take.
Well, anyway, but I think. If they allow a friends of, it's not that hard to set up a 501(c)(3), but. I think it costs $800,
Right.
which may or may not be refunded.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it.
I mean,
sad,
but you
and
have
I
to
think
do an
he was-
$800 annual corporation fee.
Right, I think he was willing to cough up the money just to get something. That you can
Right.
pitch in and do it. All right, the next thing I wanted you guys to know was about the Baldwin Hills Urban Watershed Task Force. This is where a lot of funding can come from. However, it's a 50-50. They only provide 50% of the funding, and then we gotta figure out the other 50. Which is usually what I've been hearing is usually like the city or like a nonprofit that's also interested in the project, like LA said, I mentioned that to them. At the tree planting events, and they were interested, or Shade LA as well, so that was interesting. But this is the tool that they're gonna be using to approve projects. This is gonna be for just the public, it's gonna be like a general public, and then people can come here. Oops, I don't think it works. But this one, oh, okay, well. It used to work when I was here last time. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is how it looks like. You know, they have 8 goals. The more goals that you meet, the more likely the plan will get approved. There's some like very generic plans that you can look at and you can just advocate for, and they more than likely will grant.
And are you thinking for the park? You thinking for the
This is
alley? Or are you
this is
thinking for
for-
the school?
This is for all 3. That's the
See.
thing. That's like all of our neighborhood that we can do. This is the map, and if you zoom in, you can see our neighborhoods are pretty red and yellow. There's very few green there.
And what's a good color for getting my,
For getting mine is the red. You wanna get red out of the red. So as you can see, Jefferson Park would be here. And then you can create a project. If you click on that, then it'll ask a bunch of questions, and this is not the grant form, this is just to see what people are thinking. But you do go through a process. What's gonna be the project name, you choose the site. You put the address there, this is pretty much the same map, and then you got the vulnerabilities that the project is gonna address. So you click, hopefully you click all of them, but of course you can't click on all of them, there's some people not gonna be meeting. But
does it ask you what you think?
I think so. Potential, I don't remember, let me just scroll down. Yeah, no, that's just the idea of the project. I think after they like look over it and then they like kind of approve it. So this is a very simple form that they will be using to approve or not approve plans.
Because Metro costed out
Yeah,
the green out.
right,
They did so in 2020, 2021. Today,
Right.
but it was about 7.5.
yeah, so exactly, so we
A
can do
little
that.
more now.
This is, so if you click on one of this, these come from the track census track. If you click on here, it'll give you what it needs. It's like, oh, this is red because. Should go over here. What's happening?
And blurry,
Blurry.
unless it's not blurry, we can never tell.
So. Just going over the Baldwin Hills Urban Watershed tool that they're using, it's called the UPA mapping. That they're gonna be using for plans for approved projects. So I click here and then you can see what the why is this so red? So lack for biodiversity, increase, and then the other stuff is degraded lands, like tree canopy.
So is it possible, so the reason for this is to give them something or to give you
To give us an idea of like what could be funded, I guess. It's like you propose a project and someone on the other side is gonna be like, oh, that's an interesting, let me review it. And they'll either give it a check mark or like no, this
just
is
say
not
it's
gonna
a
work.
fit,
Yeah, this is
so
not gonna work.
possibly you have time this week to look at the 6 pages that were done for Metro and plug in
And
the
then plug it in.
information. And
So this is not live yet.
Oh.
This is like a free, this is why it's so like buggy, like the other
Got it.
pages didn't work.
so not before, that's all.
Yeah, not before.
Okay.
So this is what they're gonna be using. We're still kind of learning how to even create the project, so it's still up in the air here. But once it works, we'll know how to use it, and then have community events, have people like explore the tool and like propose their own projects, and like what we're doing with the master. So that was the update.
And do
any
I see this way is no longer the total boundary?
Uh,
Does it look like Washington?
yeah, it looks like it just went up to Washington, or maybe it's because of the census tract. To my knowledge, I don't know if it moved, but it looks like this
Because
map
I
is.
thought the freeway was.
Yeah, I don't know, I will ask that, sure.
This is different from the big infrastructure.
This is different, yes, okay, so there's two, so this one is from the Conservancy, the Baldwin River Watershed. They're putting up. This and using the mouse, so you can see what they cover. This is what the Conservancy is working with now. This is LA
It's
and then,
definitely north of the freeway.
yeah,
Not
oh,
by
actually, so the boundary is the black line.
much. Oh,
Yeah, so the boundary is the black line, so I think that is. Good.
not so.
I mean, we're in the,
Well, some of us are not.
Yeah, so,
UNNC consumers. but that's
You guys-
okay.
It means you guys have clean environment.
Well, no,
no,
it means that the watershed is like goes up through the freeway. You know, if I would argue that it goes all the way to Hollywood, but
Right, but you're still-
yeah, they're just stopping there. But yeah, so
The watershed, as you may know, if you've ever looked at a flood map, actually starts at the Hanson Dam.
Yeah.
Up in the valley,
yeah,
because in a flood, major dam, right, it would go down the LA River and then flood Jefferson Park out to Playa. And that's the actual floodplain, because it is the former route of the LA River. Before LA River was rerouted to where it goes now, towards Long Beach.
It was always pathetic anyway. It never had like.
Oh, what, saying- Right.
It was always.
it was shit.
Whatever.
All right,
When was it, like 1860, somehow engineers figured out how to get it to go that way instead of this way? It was a long time.
Many
ago.
interventions.
all right, let's move on. Item number 4, like I mentioned, it says that is the Leslie Shaw overview, but we already did the last time, so we're gonna recap the events of this month, the tree planting event. You were there, I don't think you were there for the tree planting event. were you?
I
You were?
was just there after. you.
Okay, so I left.
Yes, I missed you and I missed you, but I saw you.
Okay, all right, well, that was a, great event. We didn't get as many stickers on that when I was there, and then I saw the map, I didn't see much change. I did start asking though, what is greening to people, and I got one person that wrote a nice. Coffee with the cop, I was there for an hour, I was kind of like all over the place,
So it was really-
and then, yeah, I saw you with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what did you think of that, cause I missed pretty much the whole event after that.
But we still haven't filled up the north.
Yeah,
I mean, you can, again, you
Yeah.
can pull the map out.
yeah, I can't
take a
wait to
look.
see it,
Well, you can.
yeah, I didn't want to just go.
Just pull it out. You'll know what's new, right? Should be studied it.
So what did the one greening comment say? Said there was one.
Oh, I'm forgetting, it's just, it's open green, it's space, it's safe space.
So I'm not sure what the blue writing was about.
One landscape. Is this Fourth Ave? Yeah, this is Fourth Avenue, so I think they want.
Oh.
A bridge.
Oh, and then reopen the Eighth Avenue
Reopen.
Bridge, which I think,
What happened with it? Why did it ever close?
because I'll tell you why, the folks on Seventh and Eighth Avenue not only worked really hard to get that one closed, they continue to request of CD10 and LAPD on and off and on, that they close the Fourth Avenue Bridge, even though they don't live.
use that bridge, don't.
It's a highly popular, hundreds of people a day go over, I work in, on Fourth Avenue.
Yeah,
But because they're still trying to get it closed, even though they don't live on Fourth Avenue, that's why I say Eighth Avenue will be
I just
open.
think, we need to work on things that we have that contribute to, rather than always looking for,
it's closing it down.
away.
Yeah, it's like, don't build this nice thing because someone's gonna sleep there. I'm like, but I could use it during the day, like.
Well, let's work on supporting whatever problem.
I agree.
So I don't know what the problems were, and I don't even know when it was closed, it's decades. Probably nineties is my guess. And all I can say is it's been a real problem keeping Fourth Avenue open because of the political advocacy
Right.
that people actually would serve.
So I'm just saying that because when people were navigating their alleys, again, it's just an application of our. For government officials, because they go, okay, yeah, great, we'll close these things that the community actually needs, because then we can go.
Job done.
Now, community services, and that's not a solution I think we should be happy.
Right.
Is having amenities.
I completely agree with it.
Anyway, so.
What do you think of that?
So I will say, I don't see anything other than something right there being added from our,
Yeah, it looks pretty,
Yeah.
it looks pretty empty on the top. Can we have an event up in Arlington Heights and Field Paper is a great, like,
Okay.
on the weekend is so. So,
here. On the 9th, in
Yeah.
other words, fire service day.
Right.
But we're trying to get hundreds of people, so
Yeah.
see if they succeed in that. We'll be on an event on Washington Boulevard, the Debbie Allen Dance Academy
yeah,
on. I wanna say June 7th. They shut down Washington Boulevard from Western Democracy. It's a big event, and we'll be there. So. But otherwise, yeah, we have a little problem.
yeah, we
Because
gotta,
I'm trying to find, because we are not gonna be able to create more events, we need to
Right.
somehow find ourselves in
yeah,
attendance.
and we gotta
events.
have like a due date for this map, what do you think? Cause I'm starting to. We should like have some sort of,
Well, we
Deadline?
just simply can't turn in a map that does nothing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, should we have a deadline, like, or can we just be a living?
Well, one of the things I wanna. I mean, you can see what the difference is between having an active
Mhm.
council deputy south of the freeway, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and right now I'm not sure what's happening. Different council deputy, and there's less going.
Hmm.
So, Danielle had mentioned that there might be. Health and wellness resource fair
Mhm.
at the Johnny Cochran campus, which is in Arlington Heights. Between Washington and Venice, but then I've heard nothing since. There is gonna be play day. On last Saturday in June, but that is Adams and Gramercy, so we're still now south of the freeway. Although those might be people from all over the city.
Right, and we can get a table, did we get a table, I forgot.
I- Ally said she's gonna get us a table,
Oh, yeah.
so she's working with that.
Okay.
But I have to follow up. I mean, the problem is we keep having these conversations and I'm not getting follow-up.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
Happens a lot.
So.
Oh.
I'm at,
Okay.
so we only have, yeah, our rep is, not fully engaged yet. So Tamala, she was appointed, well, when you were, so there's a difference between Caesar and Tamala, she hasn't gotten fully engaged, and we have a vacancy. So once,
For Arlington Heights.
well, it's
whatever.
my region too, it's Angeles Vista and Arlington.
Right, that big green region.
All the big green.
And how about the Harvard Heights region?
Yeah, we're well represented, that's Bree and Michael Soderstrom.
So could we ask them for some thoughts on?
I have,
sorts
yeah.
of events for people to-
Well, I've even reached out directly to Billy Green and to, so there's two neighborhood associations, there's a West Adams Heights Neighborhood Association, and then Harvard Heights. So usually West Adams Heights is a summer block party. I've been saying, when is it? We wanna come. And I haven't gotten an answer. I mean, I got an answer saying, oh, we'll let you know, but not an actual answer. And I think Harvard Heights, you know, Kareem's sister is in charge, is the president. But I don't think they're having events. So I don't know why. I mean, I wonder if Roland just create, you know, they used to have progressive dinners and this is that.
Let's just suggest that we have this map be like this for at least another year, like
I don't know, but I was gonna say through the summer.
through the summer, alright, well,
I have more realistic. Through
okay,
the summer.
for the summer. Okay, well, that
I'm
means
gonna
that
be going back to school,
I
right?
am starting to look for a job, so.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like- Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I went back to my school and they're like, so I'm ready to go back, like, sorry, low enrollment, like, kind of decisions. So you know, being here, like, the kids kind of like already forgot about this thing, I'm like, oh.
Get your job back.
Well, I still have my LAUSD job, but not at school, just because of enrollment. And the dynamics of.
Try to.
I will definitely try to
What-
be in
what-
the neighborhood, I'm high school, I'm high school, and yeah, I'm looking at LA House.
Because they pay you less.
And that's not in LA.
Right, they pay you less.
And they would pay me a lot less. I'm actually looking to how.
skill set, but they would pay you.
It's just a structure, you're not
Right.
getting into SCRS.
Right.
So, and once you start with SCRS.
What's
most people-
SCRS?
That's state teacher pension.
So do they pay social security?
Yeah.
Not
No,
a
we
bad
don't.
thing to have both.
No, we don't pay, to social. It's a short, I see, okay. Okay, well, let's move on. Okay, so we gotta digitize this eventually, and I'll show you where. Do we have time for that? What time? It's 7:02, do we have time?
To talk to Caesar about.
No, we have a different, yeah, I mean, I have a project track for projects that I'm interested in. That one, he said he had something, I was like, I
Okay.
want to see that.
Yeah,
what we
so
that's
I'll
what
show you
I'm
guys here. See,
And we're still trying to make sure.
no one's logged in, sadly. You know, okay, so this is the LA Living Infrastructure, I started working on this a little bit. And you click on one of the regions and you can like, zoom it in and then start plugging things in.
Just copying and
Exactly.
just saying, you see a tree there, I'm gonna put a tree.
Exactly,
Now, is there a database behind that you query and then just do reports on, or is it just moving the
yeah,
elements on?
it's just moving the elements, I think, hey, if we can find
Well-
something else, I would be open to it, but this is
I know,
what we have.
yeah,
But these symbols are aligned with those.
Yeah,
symbols.
exactly, the symbols are the same, and then there's some, like the writing stuff, we've been putting little comments
and the purpose of this is gonna be for,
okay, so then the purpose of this would be to go to CD10 and be like, hey, we wanna do this project, more people want this happen. Or we can go to the Baldwin Hills River Watershed and be like, hey, what do you think of, or take this to the other tool and be like, this is what people wanted here, like.
but if you can't do reports on it, you can't do any kind of like calculations, or you can't
Like in terms of, you can do cost estimates,
do
you
like,
can do cost estimates on here, I wouldn't remember, I definitely would love to see this, let's see. Remedies,
You want, you wanna have data in your.
yeah, I think,
Master plan, you're gonna want. to-
yeah, let's see, so site one. You have. I think so you can make it into smaller projects, because right here, we're just plugging in things, but it tells you how much a shade tree costs. It tells you how much this stuff is, so where is the data though, I forget, but there are numbers here, I just. Can't remember how to do these right now. I would love to send this to you though, now that you're engaged, and I would love, for you to like.
but
Play
I'm
with it.
focused my corner
Right,
right in front,
Yeah.
which is, I reached out to the senior centers, the Japanese senior center.
Yeah.
I just saw they had activity there. And, I reached out to Teresa about trees and the tree wells and how, like, what is that process of getting trees on those vacant wells?
Yeah.
So that we start, and then of course, I also had a meeting with Betty at Aspire, because she wants to do the PID. But, as, Heather Hunt had said, maybe there's another way, maybe we don't have enough tax base, but she wants to do that. I don't really know any of this, like how anything gets done, so I'm still in the learning from
Okay,
you guys.
well, I'm like 6 months ahead of you, but we're definitely
Yeah.
at the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love to see growing out from my little corner
Yeah,
of meaning, but I think there needs to be a more,
yeah,
Like, what
okay,
is the
well,
difference?
that's how I started too, I wanted my park close to my house, like, why can't we have
I
this
want.
park? And now we have a whole greeny mess.
Exactly. Well, that's 'cause I-
But yeah, no, it's,
Yeah.
we're pretty much on the same page,
Yeah.
so,
Learn what it is you're doing, so.
Yeah.
Cause I have my build out. just
Right.
to track projects and stuff.
So, Sandra's been trying to log to Zoom since 6:30.
I do not see anybody, participants,
Let me-
nobody.
Yeah, so let me look.
I clicked on the agenda from my computer and
No, I know. Well, it says, just join the meeting. Did you actually click on the right Zoom? Yeah,
I can end it all and then reset it.
What, do you have a, pull up the agenda, did you? Oh, never mind, you know what she did, she made an error. She's
Okay.
trying to get into executive.
Oh, okay.
See, I liked.
I think you hated technology.
You can figure out what she's doing wrong.
No.
Not really.
No.
So are we okay?
We're okay. I'll just respond.
Okay, so moving forward with the tool that we're using to transfer the map, can okay, so that's the thing, like, this takes a long time to figure it out, like, just do the dragging and put it in. So I think Teresa proposed to do it on a Saturday here. I was thinking maybe May 16th or May 23rd. Anybody opposed to those dates, or like, can you make it, or should I just do it myself here?
Well, can we do it for free?
Can we, or can we do it for free? I
Because if
just
we
met,
can't-
I just met
if
Adam.
we can't- Yeah, you have to ask him. If we can't do it for free, we're,
Okay.
I mean, because we have an issue. Meeting space.
Mhm.
That's a budget.
But if you give me a, I don't know, a login of some kind, like.
Yeah, I can send you this since I
Yeah,
already
I mean,
have
you
your,
make me a, I don't know, a
yeah,
field officer. or
as
something.
long as I share the link, anybody can.
I would love to, yeah.
I
see
will,
what
I will
it's-
send it out. I will
I
definitely
just,
send it
yeah,
out.
it's really nice. And
Yeah, there's definitely data that I don't know, maybe there is a button that I haven't figured out how to like actually get
Right.
report and stuff. And it's also by like region, I don't know if you saw that. There's like the 5 region or 6 regions that we have for UNNC, so it's like each region would be a little bit different.
Right.
So this region would have its own report, so it would be like thousands of dollars. But if we make a region within a region, then we can focus on a specific spot. And I think, you know, if once we get actually working with it and actually plan with the tool, maybe we can figure out a lot of things that we haven't figured out.
Because I would be interested in taking all of that data and putting it in my map.
Oh, okay,
Because
well,
that's-
yeah,
that's
maybe
well.
send me your map, man, because it's
I'm
not,
still
it's
building
not
out
too
the
late.
map, but, you know, my map is gonna be basically all the projects and the people that I need
Yeah.
involved to project manage whatever screening that I'd love to see on Jefferson Park.
So, can we do May 16 and do a TBD on location?
Yeah.
Okay. TBD, any other questions about the LA living infrastructure? We need to transfer the map to digital. Okay, that was my main thing that I wanted to point out here. Share.
Okay, can you give me the, read out the meeting ID? I'm going to send it to you. Pull up the agenda,
Agenda's here and
so the number,
8678.
no, I need all full string.
The whole thing, HTTPS.
No,
Just say meeting ID.
Right here, yeah, I started saying 867
867
85
8.
80 45
Take
5
7.
I have to.
I noticed.
And I just told we're all stuff.
And who's this?
Sandra.
Paul or Pruitt?
Anyway.
Well, hopefully. Let's see, CIS, parking needs assessment, we finalized our community impact statement,
Go ahead and use.
and then we said we're just gonna use what the
what
agenda
was on
said.
the agenda.
Exactly, I love the generality of that, so yeah, so any questions about the CIS? Okay, so last time
Do
we,
they know what we're talking about?
yeah, so let's do a recap on that, the PNA, the park needs assessment,
Needs?
park needs, right?
Yeah, yes, is that what it is?
Park and Recs put up this huge report saying like the city needs, where does city needs new parks and one new system they're gonna use to create parks. So they have a priority list, like the squares, like red stuff that they.
I went to their site.
Okay, so you've seen that,
But
so
it was totally cryptic. It's like, what is this?
yeah, so we were not in the priority, even though we went and advocated at Jefferson Park.
It's in the name.
Yeah, we have no parks.
New park.
What's going on? They still didn't move one square that could have worked, it would have worked really easily, they just,
What's one?
on Expo,
Very end?
the very end, but just move it,
Yeah.
just move it over, it would have worked. But you know, our
Yeah.
advocacy didn't work.
Also,
Mm.
said they did put on their highest priority. St. James. You know where that is?
So,
It's a nice park. It's north of Adams, just east of Mount St. Mary's. Where the Lantern School, and it's this little private enclave, and it's a historical Victorian era. Remnant
yeah,
of a park, for St. James Park is the name of the neighborhood. But there's no children. Or it's just either
yeah,
parks like me
yeah,
and USC students. And then there's the new charter school at the school, which is the one that's forgetting the name for a second, but it's the all girls charter.
right,
And those people say that their little girls, it's not safe for them to even walk across the street. So they're certainly not using the park. So I don't even understand how that
how
park became the highest priority
yeah,
for South LA. Because it's like odd, because it's not servicing
Yeah.
the students at Mount St. Mary's, because if we've been on that campus.
Yeah.
It is a park.
yeah. So what the CIS just pretty much states is like, we want them to realize that, and maybe they can.
Well, I didn't ding a park, I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, I understand.
So is there like, is it county or city?
This
or-
is city of
It's city, so there's city land right in our area.
Yeah.
So they are vacant. I have mapped those.
Yeah,
So I know what those are. There's one on Crenshaw, right? By the freeway, nothing. There's the one on the Expo, very,
yes,
there's the one that was senior center, seniors now.
yeah,
I
that
think
was. Yeah, so, yeah, we're trying
Yeah.
to do all those and make them into parts, and, okay, the second in Obama. They've been playing, or they've been saying that they're gonna make a motion. Okay, this is the second time we hear it. Cause I brought up, next to the gas station, general services, this is a little lot with some like aluminum warehouses. And I've been like, yo, this seems to be pretty underutilized, can you make this into something? And then I already got told, stop inquiring about this.
Maybe it's not toxic.
I don't know, they didn't specify, so they're like, if you really wanna know, you gotta talk to chief staff. But anyway, long story short is that when that conversation was happening, they're like, we really are gonna try to make Second Ave in Obama into life. So I was like, we're waiting for the motion. So. But yeah, that was,
I'm watching the development near USC, the village. There's a big oil field that was, so the Redeemer,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I talked to them.
They just planted. So,
Yeah, that's temporary.
yeah.
There
I'm
is
sure
a-
they're remediating.
Any other questions about the CIS? Is this pretty much going back to the general CIS as opposed to what I had mentioned last meeting? All right, the next thing, just coordination for the Expo Crenshaw Paseo Alley. Ending. Okay, so at the tree planting event, I talked to the Shadalay person, Katie. And you know, I told her about the first mile, last mile. And she was interested in that project of making that, because it's like, you know, it's a big train stop. It's like the K and the E line intersect. There's gonna be so many people there. And it's still very not pleasant to walk through. So they are very interested, and they asked me to share the letter that we wrote for CP10, which Laura's gonna send me soon with pen.
Which, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
looking for the open space element letter. that
Oh,
is-
yeah, the CD10 that we wrote, hoping to for CD10 to make a motion for so
Yes,
Yeah.
that one,
that letter,
any letters.
Shadalay is very interested in the project now. Ailey San perked their ear when we talked about it too. They seem interested as well. I'm saying that just because like, oh, not about the alley. But yeah. any questions about the coordination with, you know, just getting more people involved and getting people to know about our plans, I feel like.
Well,
that's
as I
the
mentioned,
coordination,
yeah, as I mentioned, the UNNC board members are meeting on Saturday. In a private meeting, how she calls it. Should, but in any case. People, but this was one of the things we're gonna talk to her. So,
Great.
so I'll reshare
uh,
with whoever we share,
right.
with other.
Right, and this, I guess this brings me back to like, you know, coordinating with other people like Shida. I'm also talking to West Adams Neighborhood Council. There's Emily Reyes, secretary. She's also in the Baldwin Hills Urban Watershed Task Force. So you know, the first mile, last mile has a lot of green elements that we can like combine efforts for, especially the long Jefferson to make some safety aspects of it. But yeah, so that's, you know, just coordinating with people, if talking about it with more people would be beneficial. Any chance we get it.
Love what they're doing.
Yeah, they're like.
They,
That
that
is
Maya area, really, likely are really beautiful storefronts.
Yeah, they just need to, because yeah, every time I go to Highly Likely, I just wish there was not like flying cars passing by so I can enjoy my.
They do have that signal
Yeah,
cross.
they got.
have
the
it, they have the signal.
they got-
How did they do that?
How did anybody know?
How did they do that?
How did they do that so quickly? Like,
They got the money, so they got organization.
did they pay for it? Like, I was.
You could ask
Go ask.
your contact.
Oh.
Yeah, she would know. The secretary.
Yeah. You're right.
Well, if the neighborhood council got,
Yeah.
but it could have easily been the business owners, it could have been Maidan Market. Were highly like,
It's true.
you know. I mean,
All right, we can ask. Let's see how they do, because that's one of the things I asked, like, talking with a cop, like, talk to somebody.
I also want to know
Yeah.
about the CIM money that's supposedly half-mile radius. Or part of that half-mile radius, where's that money?
well, what do you mean there's CIM?
That whole Crenshaw development? or-
Yes, I.
So that, there's supposed to be a pot of money
It can be the.
for development, are they,
Open space, yeah.
or any of them?
What, no, I'm saying, you know how you asked us earlier, what's
Yeah.
our sources, what's
Yeah.
your source?
Sandra told me, about it, and I looked it up, and there's apparently in their application with the city for the planning, there's a
And is it for the office buildings or for the TOC project?
whatever contract they had to develop
Okay, they
the
have-
apartment.
That's.
I
across the
think they
street.
refer like Quimby funds, like what are those?
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's a. I don't know, so I wanna find out.
yeah, maybe, I've been thinking about Quimby funds for a while, and then team has mentioned Quimby funds, but we never actually done like. How much is it?
Yeah.
Or,
So-
but that's a public record, you're like, like, that record, I mean, well, you can just go ask for a public record. Go ahead.
Okay, so I went to the South LA Alliance of Neighborhood Councils meeting on Thursday. When meeting Zoom. Among the people who were there for this was our controller. So, these kind of questions were asked. And I asked the Quimby question. I mean, first he was asked a different question. And he gave a link on, you know, his website, and how we can find the answers. And all of this is in my note, in the notes that I haven't looked at in the chat from the meeting. But then I asked the Quimby question. And he said, we asked that question too. And we don't have it, but the Recreation Parks Department does have a website that in theory gives the answers, and he put that in the chat. So I can share that with you if you want, but that is for parks.
Or, yeah, the
It's
Quimby
not-
funds is like you build something and it's supposed to have a. money aspect.
Yes, but I'm not sure. You know, how they've been distributed. I do know that there were some Quimby funds, it wasn't a huge amount put into this later for
Right.
some specific.
And I think the team also referred to like, we they're using the community funds to restore the parks that we already have, like Mama Rec Center. That a lot of the restoration, new pool, all that came from the community. So,
be a half mile radius.
okay, so I,
Yeah, but it would be in a half mile radius. The one thing I do know, it's unfortunate, it's in council. So it's just it's not necessarily, it could be in the half
I heard
mile.
about some pocket of money that's supposed to be a half mile radius that goes for street improvement, beautification, other types of. and
That
so
one
I'm
I'd like to
thinking
know.
that maybe if Adams is, very organized, very on it, developing beautiful storefronts, maybe they got. So I'm like, wait a minute. what
Well,
about this
CIM did fund primarily the bid for Adams Boulevard, wherever the New York shape. I think I mentioned previously, we used to have a bid in Jefferson. The people who were involved are all gone.
Yeah, there's like Gus, what's his name?
Gus and
Gus Harris.
Yes, and others. Some of the money was spent. We don't know what happened to the rest of it.
Yep.
We don't know if the city has it buried in some account somewhere. I don't know how to research it, but somebody does.
I went on their website, there was
No, I understand whose website though. I mean, somebody,
bids, city bid.
Yeah, this probably predates websites, so.
Right.
This is from a long time ago.
Well,
Right.
Heptico, the Byzantium,
but they're new, they're current.
they don't even have the West Adams. So I
Right.
know that the,
Right, but this
They-
was, I mean, Gus Harris was a board member for UNNC in the early days,
Yeah,
but the very early
he's
days.
the first store owner at Jefferson and
Right, and he was going
what's now
to,
the shop.
right, and he was gonna also, he was one of the recipients, it just never happened. There were 3 liquor stores in South LA, he was one.
Yeah.
That were gonna be turned into healthy grocery stores. Selling real food
what have been
and
this?
organic veggies and fruit.
So, just off the top of my head, I'm wondering if like the city's inspector general might be a good source to ask this question about where, how to.
Well,
how
the
to get
controller's
money.
office would be,
Or because, well, just the inspector general's office does audits,
Oh,
so,
okay.
just as a resource.
Right,
Like, do they have a community person to kind of guide? Just
Well,
off the top of my
right,
head.
like yeah, I mean, because wouldn't have been an independent bank, would have been a city account.
Right, but if somebody, if it was gonna be investigated, right? Then the inspector general's office would do that, so presumably they have. Resources and know-how and knowledge of fine. Would they be willing to share that?
Right,
but reading it seems like bids do expire. So
well,
and they're
Money has to
minus,
go some-
they're minus $2 million. Yeah, so I'm like. So
who's minus to know?
the bid pocket, I mean, pot of money is like they're minus.
You're saying the city, though.
City building.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. The Jefferson
No,
Park bid,
Yeah, all the bids they invoice. And then they get tax assessed, and they pull out of it from invoicing. So there's a dash. That shows you all
right,
of
of the living,
all the living.
right,
Even
like
not
the
even
Figueroa bid.
Is that West Adams just got an extension, and they're not even. But Heather Hutt said, there's, maybe a better way, so.
Yeah.
Okay, just, it's just, it seems though that you guys are. You guys are linked into this.
Well, we
What
just
kind
know.
of rounds gone to?
If you're on Jefferson, you've got the 2.
yeah, wait, why don't we want to do this one again? That's okay, related to Reagan Parks?
No, it's not related. to-
Yeah, it could be, right? Like,
Like
what can you
would
do?
be
Storefronts?
green,
Yeah.
economic development
Okay.
on the street itself.
Okay, there we go.
Cleaning the graffiti up in front of the laundromat.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Trees, trying to.
Okay, so let's look into it. It sounds like we are. I'm like,
The
I
last
got lost a little bit.
intersection with UNNC
Yeah,
had to do with, okay, so those, what are they called? The entry?
Right, those are.
What are they called?
I don't.
Gateways, blah, 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 blah. And they came to UNN. No, the clock's not there. I think it's wrong. but they came to UNNC for money for lighting. The electrification,
Yeah.
put in lights
Yeah.
years ago. Again, I wanna say it's 2014-ish. I think because Norman was sort of saying, excuse me, didn't we already give you money? That, and he was around in 2014.
All right, yeah, 3 minutes. Let's just adjourn this meeting, but before we do, so no meeting, no official meeting next month, because we're gonna be working on this instead. So we
Okay.
agree on that?
So that's good, because Teresa is having a meeting.
Okay, there we go. That's perfect.
And as soon as you adjourn, I'll tell you what's.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll skip next month. So we agreed, May 19th, we try and work on I'm sorry, 16th. Should be a Saturday. Let me
Whatever.
double check. Okay, May 16th. So skip next official, and that's it. We're much adjourned. Any other thoughts or